Everyone's life is intended to be read as a subplot in the main plot of Jesus. Paul says that as others begin to notice his story and hear his story, it impacted them positively. He describes two things about them. One is they begin to increase in their willingness to take risks. In verse 14, some of those who were aware of Paul's story began to gain so much confidence that they were willing to take risk for the gospel. There's even an adjective on this word risk, to take extreme risk, to be extremely daring. Following Jesus, a life of Jesus, a subplot in the story of Jesus is a story of extreme daring and risk taking. It's not a safe life. Following Jesus is never meant to be a safe life. These brothers and sisters, because of the example they saw in Paul, were willing to risk it all for the sake of the kingdom. Their lives, their health, their finances, their careers, their reputations, possibly their places within the community, if we consider the historical context of what was going on. As they watched the subplot of Paul and the main plot of Jesus, their stories begin to make more sense. And they were willing to sacrifice, take risk, live daring lives for the sake of Christ. They no longer pursued the path of safety. Then it says that they began to speak, and it's a present tense Greek verb, which means that they wouldn't stop speaking and talking about the word. It's the Greek word logos. Some translations say gospel here or message here or something like that. They began to speak, wouldn't stop speaking about the message of Jesus without fear. Now, as soon as you hear that they were speaking the gospel without fear and they were taking risks, or daring, they weren't living safe lives, but they were obsessed with the cause of Jesus, you might begin to ask the question, how? I would have read something like this for many years in my life and used it as a legalistic guilt trip mechanism to cause me to try to find some way to then go do what this text says they should do. The next paragraph shows us that that's the opposite of how we should think about this challenge. We shouldn't read about those who spoke the gospel, spoke the word without fear, and live lives of daring, risk taking, obsession for the cause of Christ with no concern for safety, and then go, all right, let's see if we can find the manipulation in our own souls to make that happen. The next text tells us how they made it happen.